Hi guys, today we're going to talk a little bit about Alfred Wegener. Alfred Wegener was a German scientist born in 1880, obviously in Germany because he's German. He actually went to school to study astronomy, but never really worked in astronomy. Wegener actually became a meteorologist and studied climate and weather and how it changed over time. Wegener became a really great meteorologist and actually made several expeditions to Greenland to study polar climate and weather. And he went to Greenland because, well, it's close to the North Pole. Wegener is also credited for making one of the longest journeys by foot. I mean, this means he walked across Greenland's polar ice cap. So while he was in Greenland checking the weather and the climate, he really became obsessed with this. I couldn't help but notice that South America and Africa looked like if you could push them together, they would fit together just like puzzle pieces. South America and Africa look like they're fitting together like puzzle pieces. They're thousands of miles apart. If these two pieces of Earth were once joined together, how did they get thousands of miles apart? So Wegener was one of these guys that wasn't afraid to ask stupid questions. So when he started thinking about these puzzle pieces, South America and Africa fitting together, he started asking people, so continents moving, is that a thing? And if it's a thing, how do we know that it's a thing? So Wegener decided to look for evidence to see if it really was a thing. And guess what he found? One of the things Wegener found was that there were fossil remains of the same plant and the same animal on both the coast of South America and Africa. Y'all, these plants don't swim. And if these animals were able to swim, which we don't know for sure if they were or weren't, they wouldn't be able to swim the thousands of miles that separate these two continents today. The evidence that Wegener found were that the geology of the Appalachian Mountains matched up to the geology of the Scottish Highlands. What this means really is that they're made in the same kind of way, and that the rock layers found both in the Appalachians and the Scottish Highlands are the same. In other words, the same kind of rock is found in exactly the same layer in the same order on both sides. The piece of evidence that Wegener found was evidence of glaciers having been in what are now tropical areas. We know this because they left deposits behind and we found striations or scratches on the rocks where the glacier, as it moved across, weathered the rock. Wegener looked at all the evidence he had about the continents looking like they fit together like a puzzle, the fossils being the same, the rocks being the same on both sides, and glacial evidence. He decided that at one time the continents that we know today were all joined together in one supercontinent called Pangaea, and that over time, over millions of years, the continents actually broke apart and drifted apart into the places that they are today. Wegener presented his ideas to the scientific community, and the scientific community looked at him like, yeah, whatever, that's ridiculous. And they actually put together entire conferences with panels of scientists to disprove Wegener's theory and just basically make fun of the guy. He was kind of the laughingstock of the scientific community. And one of the big reasons that he was is because he couldn't explain how any of these things worked. He couldn't explain the why or the cause of why he thought continents drifted. And without the why, it was just it just sounded crazy to the people at the time. You got to remember, this was the early 1900s. They didn't have technologies that we have today. So basically, everyone in the scientific community thought Wegener was crazy. So Wegener didn't bother to fight this. He just decided that he would go back and do what he was good at, and that was being a meteorologist. So Wegener went back to Greenland, and after he got there, he actually went on an expedition and was caught in a blizzard, and he actually died. And his body is still there today, frozen in the snow and ice.